true leaders share their knowledge and their success. It helps an industry, and it helps also the leaders to become even better. So sharing knowledge is a key. One important part, a crucial part of this organization is, of course, being representative for employers towards unions, doing the collective agreements, etc., and providing the best possible situation for employers versus employees. But more and more, it's also very much about providing platforms for sharing knowledge between members, monitoring market development, providing business intelligence, of course, lobbying activities, looking at environmental issues that might influence our business, legislation, etc. I think the requirements are changing, or that, of course, the very foundation is, of course, negotiating collective agreements and helping employers with various kind of issues towards employees. But when I speak to members, what they are really asking for a lot is guidance. What's going to happen? How should I develop my business? What are the major market trends? What are the new technologies coming on? And how do I get new ideas, etc.? And that's really where I think we can play a part and should take a very active role. So in that sense, we are changing. I'm about 3 months old into this business. I was the CEO of a packaging company for the last 10 years. So I think I come with a lot of, let's say, very operational type of background, knowing quite well what kind of challenges and expectations and so that, let's say, real companies have. And that's what I want and try to bring into this organization as well. The level of organization in general in Swedish industry is very high. Grafiska Företagen organizes around 70% of all companies, number of employees and turnover. About 70 to 80% of the turnover in the graphical industry is under the umbrella of Grafiska Företagen. I would say that I think the ones in most need for business intelligence, for looking what ideas, what new technologies are coming on, it's really the smaller companies, because rarely do you have you simply don't have the people. You cannot afford to have people monitoring, looking at new ideas. Sometimes you can't even have people going to exhibitions, etc. So it's really there I see maybe the biggest demand. Of course, meeting all members, you can only do that you do that through a number of situations, both through of course, our one-way communication, I mean, through our websites, magazines. We have a number of our representatives are based around the country, so they are quite close to the company, visiting companies on a regular basis, sharing information. We are also organizing various kind of events where all our members are invited, where we share interesting information ourselves, or we make sure that we invite other members, companies, market gurus, etc., that can give their view on what's going to happen in this industry or what the future will bring in general. The challenges in this industry right now, I would say, is, of course, the absolute fundamental challenge is the ongoing transformation from printed products into other forms of media, digital media. That's kind of the basic big challenge, because that is really the right of existence. Because I can't use my equipment for a digitalized media. And secondly, the second challenge is, what do I as a company do? What kind of path do I choose? Because there is room, not for everybody, but there is room for either to go through specialization, to be very narrow in your offering but be extremely good at it. There are some companies that are contemplating or have chosen low-cost manufacturing, that you excel, you have a very, very kind of standardized supplier offering, but you excel in that arena. Or you go for a broader product portfolio, or develop your services. So that is the challenge. What path do I choose? The most important thing, I think, is that you have to choose. You have to make a conscious decision on one of these strategies. What we do, and what my aim is really, is that Grafiska Företagen should be let's say, an inspirational platform. Whatever we do must have a clear objective of inspiring you, helping you in a conscious business decision, and also to help you make that strategic choice. So there I'm very clear on that. At all times we have to know that this is for our members to increase their competitiveness, long-term growth and profitability. So we have to have that very, very clear all the time in whatever we're doing, whatever service we're providing, whatever event we are creating, or whatever interview we're doing. It has to have that clear. I bring in a much clearer objective with that aim. Of course, in a organization, this is always on the agenda, but it is, I would say that maybe the basis, the foundation for a lot of these trade associations is really the employer part. That's where it all started, and maybe not so much has been focused on really the business issues. But the business issues are becoming more and more, well, they have always been relevant, but they're really top of the agenda. I mean, this is what members speak to me about. It's not so much, of course, the basis is you need good collective agreements, you need smart ways of operating your business, you must be able to, you know, about working hours, shifts, etc. All that, of course, that is important. But they're really talking a lot about, where do I take my business? What are the trends? What are your ideas? What are other companies saying? What are competitors? Other type of businesses? How are they developing? Because all that is part. You can say in one way that it has never been so much information available at any time that there is today. But most companies and most of us, we just don't have time to process that. So that's where you need kind of guidance. How does the situation look about imports, exports, and so on? I would say that the transfer has already been done. It's not so that it's a major threat anymore, because it has already happened. Whatever could move has moved already, so that has already happened. But what I saw when I came into this part of the industry, and this was also partly a reflection I made when I was in the packaging part of the business, is that the closeness to the customer, the geographical closeness to the customer, plays a vital role. That's one, and also the speed of delivery, because wishful thinking would, of course, be if we could predict our customers' demands in a better way. But both on the packaging side and on the, let's say, the printing part of the business, it's just amazing how short time span it is putting an order and when you want delivery, and that's a great advantage. That's a great advantage for this whole industry. I think export is I would say, an unexplored area still for a lot of Swedish companies. There's very little discussion. The discussion that I find with members is more about what has been lost to imports, mainly to the Baltics and Poland, not so much about export opportunities. But the export that we do see, because of course we have members, or there are Grafiska Företagen that export mainly within the Nordic countries, and some of the larger companies, they of course see the Nordic region as their, let's say, integrated home market. So they don't necessarily see exporting to Denmark as a export. It's, you know, we're part of Scandinavia, part of the Nordics, so this is our home region. I think we will see consolidation. I think it's a given. It's necessary in this business. Sometimes because this is a business with a lot of, in Sweden, only when I look at our number of our members, it's only about 10% of the companies that are more than 250 employees, and the rest are, the huge bulk are less than 50 employees. So I think we will see consolidation exactly as we have seen in other industries, and that is almost like a nature law in a way. So I think we will see that. We will also see a redefinition. I think now we have been talking a lot in this interview about printing. That are we in the printing business, or are we in the communication business? And I think there will be redefinition. Some companies have already started that process. So I think we will see that. If you redefine yourselves into being, I'm a communication provider, or I'm a message, bringing message to some kind of audience, that means that you will also redefine what business you're in. But we have also good growth opportunities in the areas of packaging. Packaging is growing. Labeling is also a growing arena. Where the industry will head, I think, of course, the transformation through digital will continue, absolutely, specifically for magazines, newspapers, etc. I think we will see a consolidation in this business. It's absolutely necessary. The majority of companies in this sector are rather small companies, so I think it's necessary, like it has been in a lot of other industries. So that will happen. I also think that we will see a redefinition, really. We have today talked a lot about printing. We are in the printing industry. I think we will see a redefinition where companies say that we are in the communication business, or we are in the messaging provider kind of business, and that open up for totally other strategic choices. So I think we'll see that. Also in a general level, I would say that what we already see is happening a lot, that you develop services. You develop a lot of services for your customers and broaden perspective, really in a way to facilitate, to help your customers. Cross-media is a given. On a smaller note, I don't know too much about that, but it sounds damned interesting, is of course printed electronics. I think there are some general advices that goes for any type of business, for any type of business success, irrelevant of what industry you're in. You must reinvent yourself constantly. In our business, it's a little bit faster than in some other business, but to reinvent yourself, that is an absolutely necessity. And also, secondly, you have to make your own view on what will the future bring and start acting on it now. In the kind of business environment we're living in, for true leaders share their knowledge and their success. And it does not threaten their business. On the contrary, it helps an industry and it helps also the leaders to become even better. So sharing knowledge is a key.